I watched Jeepers Creepers, and I'm going to give you my spoiler-free thoughts. On a desolate country highway, two homeward-bound teens are nearly run off the road by a maniac in a beat-up car, and later spot him shoving what appears to be a body down a sewer pipe. So before I fully get into my thoughts for Jeepers Creepers, I think it is important to note, if you don't know already, you probably do, that the producer, Victor Salva, is a convicted child sex offender. And I understand that some people won't be able to watch Jeepers Creepers with that knowledge, but I do think it's important to mention it in this video. And I fully understand and respect anyone who just doesn't want to watch Jeepers Creepers or any other film that in one way or another is related to Victor Salva. I personally feel that I'm able to separate the art from the artist to an extent, so I still decided to watch this film. So with all that said, let's just get into the review. I think this film is pretty solid. I think that the Creeper is a really interesting character. I think some of the things that the Creeper does, particularly when he's like sniffing people, is a little weird knowing what we know about Victor Salva. I don't know if that has any correlation. So that was a little odd. And I think the Creeper is an interesting character. I don't know how I feel about like the Creeper's design. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. I don't know how I feel about it yet. It kind of reminds me of the mask from the Goosebumps show. If you've seen the Goosebumps show, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. I think that some of the character decisions were stupid. There's a decision at the beginning that the characters made that was really dumb, but is at least to me reasonable to an extent. I also like the brother-sister dynamic instead of your traditional boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic. I think that it's a little more unique and it's interesting to see a brother and sister in the situation instead of a boyfriend and a girlfriend. I'm not a big fan of the use of a car not working very well as a plot device. For the story, it makes sense how it's done, but I'm just still not a big fan of its use. I think it might be a little too cliche for me. There are also some unexplained things, particularly relating to the lore of the Creeper, that I'm hoping are explained in later films. I have a feeling hopefully they are. There's also a time in the middle-ish part of the film where I wasn't as invested, but it was only like a little bit. I'll also say some of the places that the characters were at, like some of the places in the story that took place, I thought was really interesting, especially like the pipe. I don't know, I just thought it was a really cool setting. So honestly, those are my thoughts for Jeepers Creepers. This is probably a bit of a shorter video. I'd love to know your guys' opinions. I'm planning on watching Jeepers Creepers 2 soon and posting my review. With that, bye.